Hello, my name's Otis Courtney, and the name of our program is Collateral Impact. And those words really are designed to express something that I think reflects how things have impacted me throughout my life, people I've met, things I've done, places I've gone, and they've all had some impact on me. And one of the things that I want to stress is that the views that I share are my own. I'm the only one who's experienced them, so I'm the only one who can really talk about them. One of the illustrations that's been really important to me is it's a cartoon I saw with just the number 6. It looked like 6 from one side, at least from my side. If you're looking at it, it might look like a 9. The whole point is, even though that's just a sheet of paper with a figure on it, that could be a conversation, it could be a point of view. Everything is viewed from one's own perspective. And so I want to continue the discussion during Black History Month on the topic of race. And when I think of race, I think of it in so many ways, and it's not so much accusatory, because white people did not choose to be born white, nor did Black people choose to be born Black. It's that artificial construct of race that keeps us from realizing our common humanity. And if nothing else, that's what I'm about. So when I talk about race, I come up with a number of different ways of looking at it. And without trying to be accusatory, I came up with a very unscientific thought about what I call subliminal white racism. First of all, let me give you a definition of subliminal. It means existing or operating below the threshold of consciousness, or employing stimuli insufficiently intense to produce a discrete sensation, but often designed to be intense enough to influence the mental processes or the behavior of the individual. So in the process of creating this unscientific exercise, I'm extremely conscious of the inherent resistance of any examination of the existence or acknowledgement of subliminal white racism, especially when it's offered from a Black perspective. But I've actually given it 4 categories. And the first is subliminal white racism, unconscious. In this category, I think of it as this is a category where white people are functionally unaware of any hint of racism in their character. In their world, all is well between the races as long as nothing disturbs their way of life. They can live anywhere and do anything their resources can afford. There's no conscious need to limit their aspirations or consider that their experience of white advantage is not universally shared by all races in society. The second category is subliminal white conscious racism. In this category, white people are aware of their racism, and they're convinced that if other races were not lazy and were willing to work harder and not expect free things to be handed to them, they would not have any problems. They will deny any validity to white privilege and contend that affirmative action programs, as an example, are a form of reverse racism against them. Then there's a category of subliminal white unconscious anti-racism. And this is, if it gets complicated, because that's how my mind works. This category of people are concerned about the negative issues affecting the unequal treatment of non-white races in our society and are desperate to find ways to identify with them to address solutions. Ironically, their well-intentioned efforts are constrained by their physical appearance and their artificially imposed societal identity of being white with its associated privilege. In fact, they don't relish this advantage, and in spite of it, they persevere in their effort to find ways to treat all people as equal human beings. Then the final category is the subliminal, white, conscious anti-racist. In this category, people are aware of their unequal treatment of non-white people, but feel no obligation to get involved or to address solutions to the inequities. They have black associates who don't seem to have any problem. Also, since they feel they personally had nothing to do with slavery, how could they possibly be accused of benefiting by it? After all, America is the land of the free and the home of the brave. Let me conclude with these thoughts. White people didn't choose to be born white. Therefore, the only way they know how to live is white people. The advantages and privileges they enjoy are part of the normal existence of being, especially in the United States. In contrast, black people didn't choose to be born black. However, they instinctively and otherwise soon realized there are advantages and privileges that white people enjoy that are normal, that are not shared by them. It is our collective inability or unwillingness to take a critical assessment of who we are as human beings, black and white, and why we think and feel as we do. This attitude seems to permeate our inclination to stay within our self-imposed worldview that prevents us from experiencing the majesty of our common humanity.